Imagine, if you will, discovering that the very fabric of the space-time continuum, like the delicate thread of causality that holds our entire universe together, is controlled entirely by the left buttock of a decaying Manhattan dominatrix played by John Lovitz.
Right,
Right.
which sounds completely insane.
It sounds like a fever dream. It sounds like a joke. But what if I told you that premise is the actual foundation of a cinematic masterpiece? Welcome to Off the Record. The mission of today's deep dive is monumental, honestly. We're unpacking what is arguably one of the most bewildering, fiercely debated, and emotionally devastating pieces of cinema history, which is Yorgos Lanthimos' 1998 tragic comedy Velvet Rain.
It really is a film that aggressively defies categorization. I mean, when you approach Velvet Rain, you are essentially being asked to completely suspend your disbelief, and then Lanthimos takes that suspended disbelief, crystallizes it, and just shatters it over your head. It's an absolute masterclass in using absurdity as a Trojan horse for profound human grief.
Yes, exactly. And, to set the scene for you listening, especially if you haven't revisited this film since the late 90s, the opening sequence is just this absolute masterstroke of mood. It is 1998 in Manhattan. It's the middle of a torrential, oppressive summer storm.
The sound design there is incredible. The rain is just overwhelming.
The rain is pounding the pavement, washing the grime into the gutters, and the camera physically descends. Lanthimos takes us down, right beneath the slick city streets, into this subterranean, decaying, velvet-lined dungeon that operates quietly beneath a failing, smoky jazz club. So, I guess, why start there? Like, why the jazz club?
Well, because of the juxtaposition of the temporal framework. So above ground, in the jazz club, you have music built entirely on improvisation, right? It's living strictly in the present moment, reacting to the now.
Right.
But below ground, in the dungeon, everything is rigidly structured. There are rules, there are timers, there are predetermined roles. And the production design alone communicates this decay of time. The velvet is literally rotting.
You can almost feel it.
Yes. The air feels humid and suffocating even through the screen. You can practically smell the stale cigarette smoke, the cheap brass polish, the cracking leather. And in the dead center of this subterranean purgatory operates Gabriella Fontaine. She is this deeply melancholy, hypnotically beautiful dominatrix.
Which brings us to the casting decision that genuinely broke the minds of film critics globally. Like the mind-bending fact of Velvet Rain that still shocks film historians today is that Gabriella Fontaine is played with impossible, heart-wrenching sincerity by John Lovitz.
Yes. John Lovitz.
It's wild.
He is wild. And what is so vital to understand here, what makes the entire mechanism of the film function, is that the film never, not for a single microsecond, winks at the audience.
Right, there's no punchline.
Exactly. It is not a sketch. It is not an extended Saturday Night Live parody. Lovitz plays Gabriella with utter, devastating emotional conviction.
And Lanthimos shoots Lovitz like old Hollywood royalty. We're talking soft diffusion lenses, candlelit close-ups that just linger on the tragic curvature of his face. There are these swelling operatic string arrangements beneath every single entrance he makes.
It's pure melodrama in the best way.
It is. The world of the film treats her as a goddess. Men literally weep when Gabriella enters a room. Wall Street bankers are shown mortgaging their multi-million-dollar brownstones just to secure a single silent hour in her presence. Women stop her in the street just to stare in awe.
I have to ask, mechanically, how does a director pull that off without the audience laughing?
By enforcing absolute diegetic reality. I mean, if the characters in the world treat her as breathtaking, the viewer's brain eventually adapts to that internal logic. You forget the cultural context of the actor, and you completely buy into the devastating reality of the character. Gabriella is a woman burdened by an immense unseen weight, and it becomes this brilliant meditation on shame, identity, and the desperate human need to matter. It's just staggering. It really is. Now, before we get further into the mechanical gears of this unbelievable narrative, I think we need to acknowledge the setup we have in the studio today, because this show is an experience, and today's curated environment, the extensive source material in front of us, this incredibly decadent, perfectly rare steak dinner that we are currently destroying.
It is genuinely incredible steak.
Oh, it melts in your mouth. And this exceptionally heavy, frankly aggressive, high ABV red wine we are drinking, well, all of this was provided by our director, Ryan Thomas.
It is a very robust vintage, extraordinarily tannic. It coats the mouth in a way that really demands attention.
Oh, it's intense. I mean, Ryan has incredible taste. He really does. He curates everything so perfectly. It's almost infuriating how flawlessly he operates. Like, you can't see him, listener, but he just sits back there behind the glass in the control room, pulling the strings, feeding us this gorgeous bloody steak, and pouring this frankly, dangerous wine down our throats.
Yeah.
It's a very controlling energy, Ryan. Very dominant. I see exactly what you're doing.
Well, it certainly fits the thematic architecture of the film we're
Oh,
discussing.
it fits the theme. He always fits the theme, the brilliant bastard. Anyway, the wine is phenomenal. Thank you, Ryan. I'm going to take another sip right now, just to spite him.
I will join you. The finish on this is remarkable. So, establishing the baseline of the dungeon beneath the jazz club, we really need to introduce the catalyst for the entire narrative, which is Gabriella's most loyal client.
Let's unpack Leonard Vane. He's an accountant from Queens, and he is the walking definition of socially invisible. If you looked up unremarkable in the dictionary, it would just be a beige square. He's the kind of guy who completely blends into the wallpaper of his own life.
Precisely. And his defining characteristic is that he speaks almost exclusively in historical trivia and sports statistics. Lanthimos gives him this dialogue that is entirely devoid of personal I statements.
Right, he never talks about himself.
Never. It's a psychological defense mechanism. It's a way for Leonard to interact with the world, to prove he exists, without ever risking the vulnerability of revealing anything about his actual self. And Gabriella, in her supreme detached melancholy, simply refers to him as the John. She literally cannot remember his actual name for nearly half the movie.
But John, it's so casually dismissive, but also strangely affectionate as the film progresses.
It speaks to the inherently transactional nature of their relationship, at least initially. He pays for her time and her attention, but he cannot buy her memory. He is a ghost to her. Until, of course, a routine Tuesday night session completely shatters the fundamental laws of physics.
Right. Here is where it gets absolutely insane, and I need you to explain the mechanics of this to me. Because Leonard discovers something impossible. He's in the dungeon, the scene is playing out, Gabrielle is performing her duties, and she spanks him 3 times on the left cheek.
The left buttock cheek, specifically. The spatial orientation is critical to Lanthimos' world building.
Yes, the left buttock. And immediately, in the background of the shot, a massive oak grandfather clock audibly, physically rewinds. The hands spin backward, the pendulum swings in reverse, exactly 3 years.
Leonard is understandably bewildered. The cinematography here gets very tight, very claustrophobic. He thinks he's having a dissociative episode, like a psychological break caused by the intense dynamic of the scene and his own repressed trauma.
But then he leaves the dungeon, he walks up the stairs, out of the jazz club, and steps onto the wet pavement. And it is 1995. The billboards have changed. The cars have changed. He has physically traveled backward in time. Wait, hold on. If she hits the left cheek, he goes back. But how does the universe know it's a time travel spank and not just a regular Tuesday night spank?
That is the genius of the script. The script implies that it is the precise kinetic force combined with the specific emotional detachment of Gabriella herself that acts as the key in the cosmic lock. It's not just the physical act, it is her sheer apathy that creates a vacuum in reality.
Oh, wow. I'm getting a little warm. The wine is really, okay, hold on.
Wait, I'm getting a note in my earpiece.
Are you kidding me? Right now, we just hit the time travel reveal. We're deep in the sauce of the causal vacuum.
Ryan is saying we need to do the vocal warm-up.
Oh my God, he is such a shithead. He really is.
Yeah.
Interrupting the flow. Do the warm-up, do the warm-up. My name is Ryan, and I'm so authoritative. God, I'd sit on his lap there. I really would. Just straddle that control chair. Fine. Fine, Ryan, we'll do the fucking vocal exercise. Ready.
Ready, enunciate clearly.
Liam Neeson's niece, Lisa Neeson, recently leased a really nice Nissan.
Liam Neeson's niece, Lisa Neeson, recently leased a really nice Nissan.
Happy Ryan. Good. You owe me another pour for that. Okay, so Leonard steps into 1995, and from here, the film slowly, meticulously establishes the complex rules of what we can only classify as temporal BDSM.
The mechanics are laid out so methodically over the next 30 minutes of screen time, it's almost mathematical, which appeals to Leonard's accountant brain.
Okay, let's break it down for you listening, because you really need to understand these rules for the rest of the movie to make sense. Lanthimos doesn't just wave a magic wand. He creates a rigid system. Rule 1, the left cheek equals travel backward in time. The right cheek equals travel forward.
Rule 2, the number of strikes directly correlates to the number of years traveled. 1 spank, 1 year. 5 spanks, 5 years. It is a 1-to-1 temporal ratio.
But here is where my brain starts to melt. Alternating cheeks creates branching timelines. If she hits the left, then the right. You aren't just moving back and forth on a single linear track. You are fracturing reality. You are creating parallel dimensions.
Exactly, because you are introducing conflicting momentum into a single kinetic event. Furthermore, the implement used matters immensely. A bare hand causes physical relocation. Your physical body, at its current age, is transported to that time.
Okay, but the writing crop.
The riding crop causes consciousness-only travel. Your current mind goes back and overwrites your younger body.
And an open palm requires direct skin-to-skin contact. But if she wears the leather gloves, it creates catastrophic temporal paradoxes. Why? Explain the gloves to me.
Well, because the leather is dead skin.
Mhm.
It's dead biological matter acting as an insulating conduit between two living temporal bodies. It scrambles the temporal signature because the universe cannot identify the source of the kinetic energy. It reads the dead animal skin instead of Gabriella.
Oh, fuck. That is brilliant. It's like, okay, think about the grandfather paradox in quantum physics, right?
Right.
If you go back and kill your grandfather, you cease to exist, so you couldn't have gone back, so he lives, so you go back. It's an infinite loop of destruction. The leather glove is like a flesh-based DeLorean. It insulates the traveler from causality, meaning reality just rips apart around them like wet tissue paper. A flesh-based DeLorean. I'm sorry, that's a really good analogy. I'm proud of that one.
It is a profoundly accurate analogy. It is a flesh-based DeLorean. But if we connect this structural mechanic to the broader thematic picture, the most horrifying rule of all isn't about Leonard navigating these jumps. It's about Gabriella.
The anchor.
The temporal anchor, yes. By the laws of this universe, the catalyst cannot be the traveler. Gabriella remains permanently anchored to her original linear timeline. She does not physically travel, but crucially, she remembers. She remembers every single altered timeline simultaneously.
Oh, man. That is so heavy.
Every failed reality, every aborted timeline where Leonard died, every mistake they try to undo it all accumulates in her memory forever. Her brain becomes a graveyard of realities that no longer exist to anyone else. The psychological toll of that, I mean, it's devastating.
Yeah, you literally can't even imagine that kind of cognitive load.
You think about the baggage we carry from just one single linear lifetime. The failed relationships, the times we misspoke and hurt someone. I mean, I think about my ex and I carry that failure in my chest every single day. It's heavy.
They took the dog, and they looked at me like I was nothing.
Oh, man.
Now imagine carrying the failure of 1,000 different lives, of 1,000 different versions of people you loved who are now strangers. It's so sad.
It is sad. Oh, don't get sad yet. We have so much wine left. Take a big drink.
I will.
Good. But you're right. It's a profound burden. She is the keeper of dead realities. And what is so deeply human about the script is that at first, they don't even respect the weight of this power. They treat it like a toy. Because the film moves into this extended exploitation montage, which is just cinematically brilliant.
They're completely selfish with it, which is honestly what any of us would do. If you had access to the space-time continuum, you wouldn't kill Hitler right away. You'd fix your own bank account. Absolutely. God, this wine is really kicking in. I feel very warm in my face. But yes, Leonard, who has all this useless trivia in his head, suddenly finds a use for it. He starts memorizing lottery numbers and sports almanacs. He takes the Spanx, goes back, plays the numbers, and they become secretly, obscenely wealthy.
And Gabriella manipulates her Wall Street clients. Because she knows exactly when the crashes are going to happen, she gets them to invest in specific shell companies right before massive economic shifts.
Yeah.
They amass this quiet trillion-dollar fortune while still pretending they're just an unremarkable accountant and a melancholy dominatrix in a rotting basement.
But because they are constantly fracturing the timeline for profit, history starts warping. Like causal ripples start changing the present. And Lanthimos shows us this subtly at first. There are these tracking shots where things in the background are they're slightly off. Movie posters on the street for massive blockbuster films that never existed in our reality.
Right, like that sci-fi epic with Tom Hanks.
Exactly. Major celebrities are suddenly missing from magazines. Whole new massive fast food restaurant chains pop up on corners that used to be bodegas.
It is the butterfly effect, but localized entirely around a leather-bound dungeon in Manhattan.
And because of this, Gabriella starts getting these intense, physically debilitating migraines. Lanthimos uses this high-pitched ringing on the audio track to make the audience feel it. Her brain is literally expanding to hold the contradictory memories of all these simultaneous realities. She's walking down the street, and she starts talking to a vendor who, in her head, died 3 timelines ago. She's mistaking complete strangers for former lovers from erased realities. It's psychological torture disguised as a superpower.
Which brings us to the central trauma of the film, The antagonist. Because no matter what they change, no matter how much money they make or how much they twist American history, there is one fixed, immovable point in time that Gabriella fundamentally cannot alter.
The 2001 World Toe-Sucking Championships.
But I know it sounds absurd on its face. I know.
It sounds completely ridiculous. If you are listening to this right now, you are probably laughing.
Yeah.
But Lanthimos directs it with the gravitas of a Greek tragedy. He makes it life or death. Because in every single timeline, no matter what variables they change, Gabriella loses the championship to George W. Bussey.
We have to talk about George W. Bussey.
Oh, fuck. Bussey. He is something else entirely. He's this deeply charismatic, utterly terrifying Southern millionaire. He's the reigning champion of the sport, and he treats competitive toe-sucking with the evangelical sweating seriousness of a megachurch pastor.
He's a cult leader. He's a washed-up, failed athlete who finally found his calling in the most grotesque niche possible, and he weaponized it. He travels with a massive entourage, he has these huge corporate sponsorships, and he literally has a gold-plated pedicure team that flanks him everywhere he goes.
A gold-plated pedicure team. The opulence of this man, the sheer audacity, and his motto.
Yeah.
Oh, man, his motto. He looks right into the camera during a press conference and says, "Feet don't lie."
Feet don't lie. You know, when I first heard that in the theater, I chuckled. I thought it was a crude joke. But then you sit with it. You really think about the metaphorical weight of that statement.
It's actually really deep. My head is spinning a little, but it's deep.
It's incredibly profound. People lie. Our words lie. Our faces lie. But the ground you walk on, the calluses you build from the miles you've traveled, the path you inevitably take it is the foundation of the human experience. The feet are honest because they bear the literal weight of our choices. Feet don't lie. I mean,
Wow.
it's making me emotional just saying it out loud.
It's heavy shit. It really is heavy shit. It's the most honest part of the body. And Gabriella, she wants this championship so badly it is destroying her from the inside out. And she finally reveals her true motivation in this devastating, beautifully lit church confessional monologue. She's in there to confess sins. She's there to confess her own irrelevance.
She has devoted her entire life, her entire sense of self to this bizarre sport. Winning that trophy is the only thing that would legitimize her existence beyond sex work, beyond the dark, rotting dungeon. It's her ticket to being perceived as a real human being by society.
Let me find the quote. I wrote it down. It's right here in my notes.
Yeah.
Okay, so she is whispering to the priest through the grate. The lighting is cutting across Levitz's face, and she says, "You know what men remember, Father? They don't remember kindness. They don't remember sacrifice. They remember champions."
God. Wow.
Fucking right. They remember champions. It's so brutal. It just cuts right to the bone of human vanity.
It's so true. It's so devastatingly true. It hurts. I mean, look at me. Look at my life. I never won anything. Nothing. I got participation trophies in middle school track and field, and that was it. My ex used to look at me across the dinner table, and I swear to God, I could see the disappointment calcifying in their eyes. They thought I was a loser. Just a sad, completely average loser who couldn't even win a goddamn spelling bee. I'm not a champion. Nobody's ever going to remember me when I'm gone.
Hey, look at me. Stop it. Stop crying. You are a beautiful cunt, okay? You are. You are a beautiful, brilliant, highly analytical cunt, and I love you.
You're just saying that because of the wine. You don't mean it.
I am not. I mean, the wine is a beast. It is coursing through my veins right now, but I mean it. You are not a loser. You know who's a loser? Ryan Thomas is a loser.
Ryan is a very successful, award-winning director who pays our salaries.
Ryan is a total fuck. He's a total fuck who ruins our lives by locking us in this studio, making us drink this heavy brain-melting wine, and forcing us to talk about sad movies that make you cry about your ex. He just sits up there in his little designer glasses looking all smug and incredibly handsome, and it's infuriating. I hate him. I hate his stupid, perfectly symmetrical face, but God, I want him to just ruin me. You know, I want him to come down here, pin me against the mixing board, and just absolutely ruin my life. Just destroy my credit score and my heart.
I think we're getting vastly off track. The temporal mechanics.
What? No, we're doing this show. I am a professional. I'm resetting. Let's reset the podcast or deep dive, whatever. Deep breath. We are talking about the John. We are talking about Leonard and the temporal spank.
We're talking about Bussey and the Odyssey, the attempt to dethrone the champion.
Right, the Odyssey. The great temporal Odyssey. So Gabriella and Leonard, they decide to stop using the time spanking for money. They use it to rewrite American history entirely just so she can beat George W. Bussey. It becomes this massive, emotionally gigantic, incredibly petty quest.
They travel through decades of American history specifically to engineer her victory. It's a montage of historical sabotage.
Yeah, they go way back. They go back to 1974, a dusty county fair in Texas. They try to sabotage Bussie's very first childhood foot fetish awakening near the tilt-a-whirl.
Which is such a brilliant, disturbing sequence. The lighting is all sepia and saturated.
It is,
Yeah.
but it doesn't work. He just finds a different foot to awaken to. And then they jump to the 1980s. They infiltrate a regional beauty pageant to stop him from meeting the mentor who teaches him competitive suction techniques.
Competitive suction techniques. It's poetry. Lanthimos writes absolute poetry.
And Leonard is losing his mind trying to keep track of the math. He has this massive, beautiful mind-style wall in his apartment, just covered in red string and equations mapping the Cheekspank chronology. He's trying to calculate the exact permutations of left and right strikes to alter Bussie's lung capacity. Wait, oh shit, wait, I almost forgot.
What is it? Did I drop my notes?
The YouTube? The Ham OTR. Guys,
Yeah.
everyone listening to this right now, you have to go to the YouTube channel, Ham OTR. It's the official channel for Off the Record. You have to like and subscribe.
Please like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm.
Like and subscribe. Ryan is waving his arms at me through the glass like a frantic little bird. Fuck you, Ryan. I'm doing it. Go to Ham OTR. Like it. Subscribe to it. Give us your digital validation because we need it. Because we are empty inside and we need the metrics to feel alive.
We really do need it. My ex took the dog and the good espresso machine.
Okay, breathe, have some more wine. So they're changing time. They are spanking and time jumping and trying to ruin Bussie, and the butterfly effect gets completely, horrifyingly out of control. The timelines they create are absurd.
The unintended macroscopic consequences of their microscopic selfishness are staggering.
They accidentally create a timeline with no reality TV,
Ah.
which honestly, I want to live there. That sounds like a utopia.
Yeah.
But then, to fix that, they overcorrect and create a timeline where disco never died.
A horrifying concept.
I was-
A sociological nightmare.
And then, my absolute favorite visual joke in the movie, an internet that is exclusively audio-based. No screens, no text, just billions of people screaming into the digital void through headsets.
Much like what we are doing right now. We are the void screamers.
Oh my God, that's profound. That is
Yeah.
so deep. We are the audio internet. We are the screaming void. But the worst one, the absolute worst timeline is the 2015 timeline. I need you to explain this to me because my brain is too fuzzy to map the causal chain. How does a motel confrontation lead to a presidency?
Okay, it's actually flawlessly mapped by the script. Gabriella confronts Bussie at a cheap roadside rotel in 1988, right? She's drunk, she's angry, and she yells at him that sucking toes is a degenerate's game, and he should aspire to lead men, not worship their feet. She intends to break his spirit. But instead, she accidentally triggers his messiah complex. He pivots his evangelical charisma away from feet and directly into populist politics.
And so, in 2015, George W. Bussie is the President of the United States.
President Bussie. And he runs the country like a cult.
Now look, I want to be very clear to you, the listener. We are strictly impartially reporting the plot of this fictional 1998 film. We are not taking political sides here.
No, we are completely scientifically impartial. The film presents the dystopian reality of President Bussie, and we're just analyzing the temporal mechanics and narrative choices that led to his inauguration.
Exactly. Left wing, right wing, up wing, down wing. We don't care. We only care about the toe-sucking time travel. That is journalistic integrity, and I stand by it.
But underneath all the political absurdism and the disco timelines, the real emotional core of this temporal odyssey is Leonard. Because Leonard, the invisible accountant, is deeply, desperately, profoundly in love with Gabriella.
But she exists completely outside of normal humanity now.
Yeah.
The physics of being the anchor are destroying her. She has been physically deteriorating for the last hour of the film.
The sudden, violent nosebleeds, the terrifying, accelerated aging process where streaks of white appear in her hair between cuts.
And her mind is fundamentally breaking. The scene construction here is so disorienting. She starts speaking in overlapping dialogue. Someone will ask her a question, and she'll answer a completely different question that someone else asked her in a timeline that was erased 4 Sphinx ago. She is living in 20 realities at once.
It culminates in the diner scene, the legendary Oscar-clinching diner scene.
Oh, God, don't make me cry. I am too drunk to cry. I will dehydrate.
She sits down at the diner booth, the rain is hitting the window, and the waitress comes over to pour the black coffee. And Gabriella just breaks. The facade crumbles. Because she recognizes the waitress. In one of the erased realities, a reality that Leonard wiped out to try and fix Bussie's timeline, that waitress was her daughter.
And now she's just a stranger in an apron pouring coffee.
Mm-hmm.
The grief of mourning a child that technically, historically, never even existed. It's a masterpiece of acting. Lovitz's face just shatters into a million pieces.
And this is exactly why she cannot receive Leonard's love. Because to Leonard, this timeline is fresh. He is confessing his love for the first time. But to her, Leonard has confessed his love hundreds of times. In diners, in cars, in the dungeon, in timelines he doesn't even remember existing.
He's pouring his heart out, thinking it's this huge, vulnerable, monumental step for him. He's finally using I statements, and she's hearing it for the 400th time. It's white noise to her trauma.
It is the absolute tragedy of unrequited repetition.
Unrequited repetition. That's a beautiful phrase. Did you make that up?
I think so. But think about it. Really think about it. Imagine someone looking into your eyes, giving you their entire naked soul, saying, I love you, and you feel nothing. Nothing but an exhausted, hollow déjà vu. It's so deeply unfair. It's so isolating. You just want to be loved for the first time. You just want to feel the spark of genuine connection. But you are trapped in our rerun of your own life. I can't. It's just so sad. Why do we hurt the people who love us? Why do we push them away?
Oh, sweetie. Come here. Give me your hand. You're actually crying. It's okay. It's okay. I've got you.
Just a lot of temporal baggage and regular baggage.
I know. I know it is. The cheek spanking ruins everything. It's a metaphor for how our actions destroy the present. But this leads us directly to the climax. The final confrontation.
We are at the final attempt, the 2001 championships.
We are so wasted. I am so sorry, listener. We are trying to maintain our academic credibility. We are doing our best work. But this wine is a monster. Ryan, you're a monster. A sexy, evil, manipulative monster who makes us confront our own mortality.
Leonard, seeing how broken she is, proposes a final, desperate solution. He says, let's take one last jump. Let's go all the way back to 1998, the very first night in the dungeon. And we never use the power. We meet, you don't spank me, and we just live normally. We fall in love linearly.
It's the logical choice. But Gabriella refuses.
She refuses, and her logic is devastating. Because if they don't use the time travel, they never go on the Odyssey. They never spend 1,000 lifetimes trying to fix things together. They never truly know each other's souls. The trauma of the journey is the only thing that actually binds them.
So they go to Atlantic City, the 2001 World Toe Sucking Championships. And Lanthimos paints this apocalyptic picture. The rain is just absolutely pounding on the tin roof of the casino. The neon lights are bleeding through the wet windows. Gabriella is wearing this shimmering floor-length silver gown. She looks like a tragically fallen angel.
And she walks into the locker room to confront George W. Bussey right before the final round.
And we, the audience, think she's going to sabotage him. She's going to break his suction equipment or mess with his head or threaten him. But she doesn't. She just looks at him. This man she has spent lifetimes trying to destroy. And she asks him one simple question.
She looks at his gold-plated gear and she asks, were you happy after you won?
And Bussey stops, this grotesque, cult-leading weirdo. The music drops out entirely, and he quietly looks at her and says, no. But for 11 seconds, I thought I would be.
I mean,
I'm losing my mind. I am absolutely, fundamentally losing my fucking mind over that line. For 11 seconds, I thought I would be.
It is the human condition. It's the entire human condition distilled into a single absurd sentence about a toe-sucking competition. We are all just blindly chasing those 11 seconds.
It's the desperation for validation. We ruin our lives. We ruin our timelines. We push away the people who actually love us. We ignore the accountants who memorize our favorite trivia just for a plastic trophy that doesn't mean shit, just so we can feel for 11 fleeting seconds like we aren't completely empty inside.
It's so profound. I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking right now. I spent my whole life wanting a trophy, and it wouldn't have fixed anything.
This is the most profound conversation ever recorded.
Yeah.
We are making history right now in this studio. HAMPO, OTR. Remember that? Go to YouTube and witness history.
And what does she do? Armed with that revelation, what does she do during the final match? Gabriella intentionally loses.
She throws the match. Leonard is watching from the audience in absolute horror, screaming her name. But Gabriella is up there on the brightly lit stage performing the act, and she's smiling. She's smiling through her tears. She's finally truly letting go of the obsession.
She sacrifices the championship, the only thing she ever wanted, to save her own soul. She realizes the 11 seconds aren't worth the eternity of pain.
And then the aftermath. The empty, fluorescent-lit locker room, the sound of the rain outside. She takes Leonard back there. And she delivers the final sequence, the ultimate temporal spank, the alternating strikes, left, right, left, right, left, right.
She is scrambling the coordinates. She sends Leonard all the way back to 1998 alone.
To save him from the temporal corruption. She stays behind in the ruined timeline, taking the entire accumulated burden of 1,000 fractured realities onto her own consciousness, just so he can have a clean, unbroken timeline.
It is the ultimate selfless act of love. She gives him the gift of not knowing.
It shatters me. Every time I watch it, I am shattered. I'm exhausted. The wine is gone. My soul is entirely gone.
We have to talk about the restored present before we collapse. The final scene of the film.
Right. Okay. Deep breath. So Leonard is back in 1998. The storm is raging outside. He enters the Smoky Jazz Club for the very first time. He walks down the rotting stairs into the Velvet Dungeon. He has absolutely no memory of the Odyssey. To him, he is just an unremarkable accountant meeting a dominatrix for a scheduled session.
Gabriella approaches him out of the shadows, and she acts like they are complete strangers. She treats him like the John.
But Lanthimos holds the camera on Lovitz's face for an agonizingly long time. There is a pause. Just a microscopic flicker of recognition in her eyes. A deep tectonic sadness she can't explain, because her mind has been wiped of the specific timelines. But the emotional residue, the feeling echoes in her bones.
She doesn't spank him. She gently, almost reverently, places her bare hand against Leonard's cheek.
And cut to black. Boom! Absolute silence. Cinema history.
And the real-world impact when this premiered was insane. Audiences walked into the theater thinking it was a raunchy John Lovitz comedy about toe-sucking. The marketing was entirely misleading.
The joke concept. Come see the funny man in leather. But then they sat there in the dark for 2 hours, weeping openly, realizing they had just been tricked into watching a devastating meditation on memory, grief, and shame.
Critics later compared its thematic density to Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Mixed with the toxic romantic codependency of Phantom Thread.
and the agonizing layering of subjective reality found in Synecdoche, New York.
And John Lovitz, the crazy son of a bitch, actually did it. He walked up to that podium and won the Best Actor Oscar.
It remains one of the most bewildering, surreal, yet universally praised Academy Award victories of all time. No one could deny the work.
Deserved. Entirely. 100% deserved. My God, what a journey. I feel like I've lived 1,000 parallel lives in the studio today. My brain is vibrating.
I feel very warm and very, very sad, but also very happy to be here with you talking about this.
I love you, you know that. You're a complete mess. You're crying about your dog,
Yeah.
but you're my mess.
I love you too. We did a really good job today. We figured it all out.
We did the best job. We explained time travel. But before we sign off, before I make Ryan come in here and physically carry me to a goddamn cab, want to leave you, the person listening to this right now, with one final thought. Because my brain is swimming in tannic red wine, but this is incredibly important.
Tell him the truth.
Look at your own life. Look at the things you stress over every single day. The pointless arguments you try to win on the internet. The promotions you chase that just give you more emails to answer. Ask yourself, what is your 11 seconds? What meaningless, shiny trophy are you sacrificing your own linear timeline for? And more importantly, who is sitting there in the audience loving you while you ignore them to win a game that fundamentally does not matter? Think about that. Think about your timeline.
That was beautiful. That was the truest thing anyone has ever said.
Ryan, get in here and carry me. I'm done. I'm so done. Get me a cab and don't look me in the eye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to Hamp OTR.
Leave the bottle. Just leave the bottle. I'll take it in the cab. Good night, everyone. Good night, 1998. Keep your feet honest.